Hey schooner sailors, it's me Caleb and I'm back with another sailing video. This week though, instead of just learning one new knot, I'm going to show you guys how you can use the knots we've already learned in real life sailing situations. So let's get our life jackets, put them on, we're going sailing. Not quite, but I did find some cool sailing equipment that we can use to practice these knots. The first cool piece of equipment I found was this. You might not recognize it, but this is called a fair lead, and this is called a cam cleat. And these are both used to help secure the jib on the 420s we sail. The jib is the smaller of the two sails in the 420, and there's a rope attached to the jib that we pull in, that's called a jib sheet. To help pull in that jib sheet, we use these. So the rope goes through this hole and through this cleat right here to secure it in place. To secure it even more, we use the 8 knot that we already learned. The other cool piece of sailing equipment I found was this. You may recognize this as a pulley, but in sailing it's called a block. This particular block is very similar to the type that we use on our 420s to help pull in the main. The main is the bigger of the two sails. By using a block, it makes it much easier to pull in a large sail filled with wind. Once again, you can use the 8 knot that we've already learned to stop the main sheet from flying through your hands and through the block. So let's try some imaginary sailing from our backyards. Let's start out with the cam cleat and the fair lead. For those of you that sailed last summer, you might remember that there's always a lot of tension on the jib sheet because the sail is full of wind and it gets pretty tiring after holding it for a little while. So we use the cam cleat to take some of that stress off. Sometimes though, you can't get the jib sheet into the cam cleat, so you have to rely on the 8 knot to keep the jib in control. You can see that the rope is secured with the cam cleat, but if it comes out of the cam cleat and you let go, the jib sheet goes free and you lose control of the sail. So to stop this from happening, we tie an 8 knot on the end of the sheet. The rope comes out of the cam cleat and someone lets go. But this time, it stays secured. You can see the same thing happen using the other piece of equipment that I brought out called the block. But this time, the rope is connected to the mainsail instead of the jib. Imagine you're sailing your 420 and pulling the mainsail in just like this from your block. But all of a sudden, a large gust of wind comes and rips the sheet from your hands. Without an 8 knot, it goes right through the block and out of your hands. Let's try that again, this time using an 8 knot. Here you are again, pulling your mainsail in. But this time, when a strong gust of wind comes, you're prepared. The rope flies out of your hands, but it's caught by the 8 knot. I hope some of these demonstrations were fun to watch and reminded you how important knots are when you're sailing your 420s in New Haven Harbor. So I've got a little bit of a bonus round for you guys. Usually on smaller boats, when you're pulling in your sails, the only help you need would be a block. The block acts as a pulley system and helps give you a mechanical advantage to pull in the sail. On bigger boats, the sails are even bigger and you need more help to pull them in. So they use something called a winch. Luckily, I happen to have 2 winches with me to show you guys. This is one winch. It's pretty small, so this would be for a medium-sized boat. The way these work is you wrap a rope around it and you use the mechanical advantage it gives you pull in the sail. Let me show you how it works. This works by using something called a winch handle that you fit inside of the winch to turn it. So imagine my hand is the deck of the boat and the winch is attached to it. When you need to pull in a rope, you wrap it around the winch and you use the winch handle to help turn it and pull in the rope. Just like this. As the boats get bigger, so do the winches. Take a look at this winch that's used for a 40-foot boat. Here's the winch we just used, and here's the one for the 40-foot boat. This winch works the same way, but gives you more of an advantage to help pull in the rope.